Awesome. Welcome to Small Town Paranormal. My name is Cody. I'm here with my sister BJ and my brother Dakota.
Hey.
Hello.
And those of you that can actually see us, because we now have a YouTube channel.
Go us. We've come to 1996.
Well, yes, 1990. Is it 1996?
I don't know. I just made that up.
You're so crazy.
I'm going to look that up right now, though.
I say, but those of you that can actually see us can see that we are in 3 separate locations. That is a paper shredder, and that's my kids' chore list before they're allowed to walk, before they're allowed to do any kind of electronics throughout the day. You guys have a lot nicer environments than I do.
These are my old lady curtains that were here when I moved in. I just haven't changed them yet.
Yeah, but your room looks cooler than my room.
That's because I have this cool jersey look.
Ah, where'd you get that? That's amazing.
From my great brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, hey, me.
Oh,
bitch.
she didn't say the best brother. My bad.
She said, I know. She said great. So great is better than best.
You guys are both
You're
great.
incorrect, but anyway.
So I wanted to talk about something here just real quick. I know we just went on a rant about Ocean Gate.
Yeah.
And I know that, and we've said some things that, may not be real popular with some people. So here's what usually happens when that happens. Typically,
you cut it out.
I cut it out. It's
Lame.
gone. It's gone. Nobody sees it. Nobody hears it, except for some family members. Well, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Would you guys, you, Dakota, you, BJ, would you guys be interested in maybe?
Yes.
Okay. So if we started a Patreon, who I would like to know based on, Facebook, and if you want to go to Facebook or you want to email us, we're our Small Town Paranormal on Facebook, smalltownparanormalohio@gmail.com. Let us know if you would be interested in a sort of, I really hate to call it a paywall because we're so, I don't know. I really hate to call it that, but if you would be interested in some unfiltered content and stuff, I mean, granted, yeah, we swear and all that kind of stuff, but we talk about things that would really offend a lot of people sometimes. If you're interested in hearing, go ahead. No, please.
We would offend people, but I think it's more, I really like the conversations that we have that you cut out sometimes, because we can take a subject, and there are so many times I'm like, I have never thought about it like that before.
Yeah.
And I really think that it's their discussion building and their mind opening. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna be like, ugh, that makes me a little uncomfortable.
Right.
So,
they're discussion building and mind opening, but they go to waste because I delete them. So
I know. That's hard.
We can talk about your poster.
Oh.
And also too, maybe we can include some of our pre-conversation before we actually start the recording and stuff. We'll just start recording from the second we sign on and say our hellos and everything, because a lot of times those get a little entertaining too. So
I mean,
Ground Zero is the prime example.
Exactly.
And the blooper episode that you did a little bit of the blooper, that was hilarious. I mean, that's just a little portion of the kind of stuff that we.
Exactly.
I forget about so many of the conversations too. So like the blooper reel, like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was always fun. And Midtown Paranormal thing. And,
So if you're interested in a little bit of extra content, and you would be interested in a Patreon page, let us know on Facebook or let us know through email, smalltownparanormalohio@gmail.com. So let us know. But today we're going to be talking about what? I can't say this fucking word right.
Vallisca
Axe Murder House. We talked to Aaron G. Thompson of Netflix's 28 Days Haunted and our best buddy.
Our best friend.
Dude, I love him so much.
Me too. He is awesome.
But we spoke to him about the Vallisca Axe Murder House, but we sort of directed our conversation in other directions because he's such a wealth of knowledge, and he does such an excellent job of explaining himself and explaining how he feels, and he does so good at helping people understand this afterlife research that he does. So we sort of got off topic, which is fine. And so we decided that we would go ahead and do our own episode on the Vallisca.
Very good. There you go.
It's like tuberculosis. On the
You said it right.
I did this
job.
time. Yay.
Good job.
Me. But we decided to do our own episode on this, and because you guys did a lot of research and you guys and it would go to waste. I didn't do anything. So, which is typical for this right now at this point in my life.
Okay. So the research that I did on Vallisca, I am a paranormal nerd, but I am also a true crime nerd. And what a lot of paranormal people don't realize is that the Vallisca Axe Murder House is actually not just the most notorious haunted house, some say in the world, but it's also the most notorious unsolved murder case. So a lot of true crime podcasts actually cover the Vallisca Axe Murder House. They don't cover anything paranormal about it. It's all about the crime. So a lot of the research that I did actually involves the physical crime that happened. Yeah. And, you know, some of the things that we would never in a million years think of today for a crime scene and things like that. But I think it's important for us to put a little bit of a warning at the beginning of this, or you can go ahead and use it now, because for those of you who don't know anything about this case, it does involve the murder of children. So
brutal
murder of children. So
which is why true crime doesn't sit well with me. I can't.
I'm the
right.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I've listened, like, even before we started talking to Aaron, I've listened to so many podcasts. I've watched so many YouTube videos. I've read so many articles about this, and most of the even the paranormal stuff, it's all just about the crime. Mm-hmm. Paranormal stuff's good. Don't get me wrong. It's not good, but I mean, there's some good, interesting stories. But man, I read so much.
I
read so much. Dakota, hey, Dakota.
I wish I could like stick my finger down.
Oh, hey, let's see if I can. This says what happened. There you are.
You were frozen like this.
Yeah, you guys were frozen. That was strange.
Yeah, we were making fun of you. We were going. We were trying to mock your.
You guys were making fun of me? No.
It was all in love. Come on.
So where did I leave off there?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Besides,
it was really, you were talking about how even the paranormal stuff, even though it's good, a lot of it focuses on the crime.
Yeah, that's all of that. Like I said, the paranormal podcast talks so much about the crime, and it numbed me just because it's awful. It's awful to imagine. I hated hearing the story every time. And BJ, yes, maybe part of your research, but you do this to me all the time. So this isn't the only case.
Right.
This isn't the only case. There are like multiple of the same killings of the same type. The mirrors covered. Be quiet, dog. The mirrors covered, the axe cleaned, the meal, all this stuff. And again, I'll let you get into the history part of it. This person was twisted.
Yeah, absolutely. Possessed?
Possibly. Cody, are you frozen? Or are you just making a funny face?
He's just making a funny face. Oh, is he frozen?
No. Ha! I was able to sit still that well.
He was just going to see if we were going to make fun of him.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I guess I should have waited.
Nah. All right. So this crime happened at 508 East 2nd Street in Vallisca, Iowa. And one of the things that I was really super excited about, because I waited, we've had this research for like a month, but we were on vacation and then Cody's computer crashed. So I've just been sitting on this little tidbit of information that I wanted to tell you guys so bad, and I couldn't hardly stand it. So 508 East 2nd Street in Vallisca, Iowa. Does 508 seem familiar to either one of you. If you can think
It's a
back,
Pomeroy number, 508.
no.
Pomeroy
So-
cell phone number. Yeah.
The Sally house is located at 508 North 2nd Street in Atchison, Kansas.
Huh.
So, yeah, I found that to be extremely interesting and what a coinkity. So, 508 East 2nd in Vallisca, Iowa, and Sally House is 508 North 2nd in Atchison,
I wonder if you like went to the end of East 2nd in Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it points to West 2nd in Iowa. Like, I wonder.
Well, they're both on East 2nd though.
Okay,
Or no,
what,
East 2nd and North
one's
2nd.
east, one's north. Okay,
Yeah.
I wonder if it like
I don't know.
they would line up.
That's something that you could look up. I just thought that was such an interesting fact. Is that it's you're looking it up right now. I can see your eyeballs.
Yes, I am.
Another one of the things that I thought was very interesting is the windows on the house there were quarter circle.
Yes.
They had the quarter circle house, just like Amityville.
Amityville.
Yeah. So I thought, man, this house is just doomed. So I thought that was very
Yes,
interesting.
unfortunately.
And I'm trying to figure out how to kind of talk about, because there were several suspects, obviously never caught. And one of the theories, and the one that I actually kind of like, is that it was they're along railroad tracks. So it would have been very easy for the killer to commit the crime and then hop on a railroad track and then go and do the other murders that were very similar and everything.
Yeah.
So that was kind of one of the theories that they had. But this happened June, they say 9th or 10th, because look at you, screen sharing.
Look at me screen sharing. Go ahead. Continue with your thing.
So June 9th or 10th, because they aren't actually sure. Mom's gonna be on YouTube.
Hello.
Don't tell her. She's gonna be on.
I won't tell her she's on YouTube.
Don't tell her.
Okay, don't tell her.
So we'll talk about Josiah or JB Moore and Sarah Montgomery Moore were the people who owned the Vallisca house. And they had 4 kids, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul.
Oh, it must be Dad's TV.
I can hear Dad's TV.
Oh, sorry.
Well, hello there, little miss.
Sorry.
Hey, Mama.
Hi, Mama.
Hey, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. I'll
Wait.
I don't intend to join. I just don't know if I can mute my microphone or not.
I can.
Hey, there you go. Good
I
job.
muted her. Hang on, let me see. Oh crap! Sorry, Mom. No, I love you, Mom. I didn't mean to unmute you. I mean, I didn't
No.
mean to mute you. I'm sorry.
No, I want to mute
Don't
so you
spank
can't
me.
hear the TV.
Okay, I
All
will.
right.
I will mute you then.
Okay.
We love you.
Love you.
I muted her before she could tell you guys that she loved you.
She just texted
That's
me.
what you get, Dakota. She didn't
Funny.
text you.
I can
She did.
unmute myself.
You
Oh.
clown. Ah. Mute.
Unmute.
Hmm.
Anyway. So Josiah.
Hold on, Mom. Can you
Yes.
tell me? Can you tell me you love me, please?
I
No.
love you.
Oh, jeez.
I love you.
I love you too.
So, y'all,
The,
look
re-
at
the rest
look
of
at
us
the
just
map.
know it. Okay.
Is this? Wait a minute. Is this? Hang on. Is that Atchison, Kansas? Hang on. That's not it. There's no way they're that
Yeah.
close. They are that close.
Oh man.
But look. They almost line
crazy.
up.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild to me. That's something I'd have
Yeah.
never thought, that those 2 locations were that close to each other.
Yeah. That's because we're
Wow.
horrible at geography. But yeah.
Well, it would take you
Wow.
2 days and 2 days to walk it and 11 hours to get there by bike.
Well, think about railroad though,
Yeah,
like railroad
true.
tracks. Although
Okay.
Sally
Okay.
House is different, but I just thought it was really interesting that they both shared the 508 Second Street
They both
address.
share 508, and if you look, their streets, dude, they almost line up, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh crap!
very cool. So Josiah or JB Moore and Sarah Montgomery Moore and their 4 kids, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, are the ones who lived in this house. And unfortunately, they would not be the only victims. The kids had been at like an all-day church event, and they had their friends Leanne and Ina Stillinger over as well. And so, unfortunately, those girls would also be murdered. And I mean, just the worst case of wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
Right.
So, and actually, the Stillinger dad, who is also known as Joseph, and his wife, also known as Sarah. So Joseph and Sarah must have been really popular names back then. Joseph was actually named as a suspect because apparently he was not a very kind man. He was known to be very gruff, where JB or Josiah Moore was known as very kind and warm and welcoming. And so they thought maybe the Stillinger, but he wouldn't have murdered his own daughter. So that one kind of went.
Well,
by the
not
wayside
not
very
only
fast.
that, the position and the disgusting thing that was mentioned, what was possibly done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Something else I thought was odd was the home was locked from the inside. Is one of the things
Yeah.
that I saw. Mary Peckham, which was the neighbor, originally noticed that the house was kind of dark and nobody was coming out to do their morning chores between 4 and 5 a.m. And so she kind of let it go for a little while. But then eventually she went and contacted somebody, and they did
It
go into
was,
the house.
wasn't it JB's cousin?
It was JB's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll probably do is I'll let you, Dakota, kind of walk through it. And then as I find things that I've found, I might just like add to what you say. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go ahead and tell. And then when I come across something, then I'll.
Excuse me. Okay. So, I mean, you want me to like start off with the murders and stuff? Like what was found? Okay. So yeah, if with the Vallisca Axe Murders, the neighbor, she did contact, she actually tried to go in the house because I guess they knew each other that well or something. Doors were locked. She thought it was really weird because they didn't lock the doors. You didn't need to lock the doors. It was all one of them neighborhoods. And plus around that time, I guess I think I read so too that there wasn't much crime in Vallisca at all. It was actually like the cop was used to getting drunks back home, not causing stress in the streets. So the thing she found odd was that the house was locked and locked from the inside. She did contact his cousin. His cousin, same thing, came over. They called, and then nobody answered. So he broke the door down to get inside. He wasn't in there very long. He came out, told the neighbor, "They're all dead. They're all dead. This is bad." They called the cops. Well, the cop. They called the sheriff. He obviously tried to act. Somehow, some way, the word spread, and the word spread fast. The sheriff came over, did his initial look, and then they needed to contact whoever the CSI, I guess you call it, that area, the investigators. By the time this had happened, by the time the investigators had even had a chance, there were so many people. There was hundreds of people in the house. And let me rewind back to the murders, much as I hate talking about it, but it's what it is.
I was gonna say that the thing about it was the sheriff or whoever was like letting people walk through the crime scene, hold the axe, like everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just
fingerprints were all gone. So the murders, and again, this is the explicit warning that BJ brought up, just not only about the children, just the brutality of the murders. It was found that everyone who was murdered, their face was beaten to a pulp with not the sharp side of the axe, but the blunt side. They were so disfigured that you couldn't even tell them. Josiah was beaten so bad you couldn't find his eyes. His eyes were gone. He had no eyes. His face was beaten so bad. Obviously, his wife, same. The guy that what's believed, except I kind of like Aaron's theory, just because how does this guy murder a dude in his bed, turns around, kills his wife right next, like she didn't come out of anything, goes across to the bedroom, kills 2 kids in there, same thing as the parents, kills the other 2 upstairs, kills them, goes downstairs, finds Lena and Ina Stillinger down in the parlor, unfortunately kills them, beats
Now
everybody.
they were running and hiding, right? They
No.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they don't. That's, I mean, you never know, but
That's a theory because
that's a theory.
yeah, because
'Cause
one
I
of
think-
because of the shoes and there was blood in one of the shoes.
That was the wife. That's the thing. They were kind of like maybe she came to as he was killing her husband, and maybe he knocked her out. I don't know. But yeah, because she had blood in one of her shoes and it got knocked over. But yeah, he killed the Sillinger girls, and then again, this is gross. It's awful. Lena was found in a weird position. Basically, they don't think there was a sexual assault, but they think he put her in an odd position, face down, butt up. And then again, I don't want to talk about the bacon.
You don't
But
want to
they're-
talk about the bacon?
No.
The bacon, like
Yeah, like
There's-
okay, so he took a slab of raw bacon,
Mhm.
rolled it up in a loin, like a cloth, and used it to masturbate.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. So I didn't want to talk about the bacon. After all this,
It's an
It is.
important because at first you're like, oh man, because they covered them. I'll let you talk more
Yeah.
about that. So you're like, oh, he must be ashamed, but not if he's
Yeah.
masturbating into the
Right.
bacon.
so
That's
after,
before apple pies, man.
yeah.
I say that's a good tip, I guess.
Hey, I got bacon in the fridge. Anyway,
So do I. I've got bologna.
oh,
What's his
heard
first name?
Oscar, Oscar.
I digress. Yeah, so after he committed, well, either after or before he committed the murders, he covered all the mirrors with some of their clothes, with sheets or whatever, because my theory, he didn't want to see himself. He may have been proud of what he did, but he doesn't mean he likes to see the monster that he is.
There's also a
Well-
theory, though, about covering mirrors because of not letting a soul escape, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so right, and they thought that, well, shoot,
Bang.
I'll bring this up when you tell the reason that he killed himself.
They don't know. That's the thing. They
Well-
don't know the reason why he killed him.
Okay, right,
But there's theories.
There are
depending on
theories. Yeah,
who
there
you
are
think it
several
is.
theories of what.
Yeah.
okay.
But
the theory was the pastor, right?
That's one of them. That's who I think did it.
That's my
Okay.
favorite one too. Yeah.
But the theory that it was the pastor was because the pastor thought that they were all demons, right? Because
Right.
they were progressing in the church, and they were progressing in the church faster than what you should in the Catholic Church back in those days, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they-
he was a visiting pastor, right? He wasn't their
Okay.
normal preacher.
So if some people believe that mirrors are portals, so
yeah, that's correct.
if you are blocking mirrors, then you are worried that these people that you've killed have released their demons into the portal, and those demons can now get to other people. Or maybe he saw a demon in the mirror in himself, like you said. I don't know. It's kind of a hard.
Yeah.
If you
It's-
believe, sorry, if you
Yeah,
believe,
no.
if you believe
go ahead.
Constantine, the movie Constantine, one of my favorite movies.
Mhm. Very first thing he faces.
is a high level demon
Yep.
that goes into the mirror and it gets trapped into the mirror. So
The only
Well,
thing
maybe
that
that's what it is then. Maybe he was thought they would get trapped in the mirror. Maybe he's seen Constantine.
John Constantine. The only thing that I find strange about, not I don't say strange, but the only thing that kind of that works against that theory is if it's the same person that did it, he did it at every house, unless they went to these towns, saw demons in these people, and felt it upon themselves to rid the world of them. That could be. It's. I don't know.
that goes back to my theory of time is on my side.
Yeah.
Because he jumps. He jumps.
Yep.
I didn't
Now-
sing enough of it. Toby.
Now we're gonna have YouTube and Apple on.
I didn't sing enough of it.
Saying enough of what? So again, back to the story anyway. Here I am saying after he killed and apparently did his thing in the parlor, he cooked himself a meal, or they cooked themselves a meal. They took a bucket of water, washed their hands, left the bucket of water, cleaned the axe, tried to clean the axe. There was still blood and hair and bone matter on the axe, but they tried to clean the axe. Then they sat down, ate a meal, got up, locked the doors, walked out like nothing happened. Again, like I said, the cop let them in. Hundreds of people going in there looking at the axe. I talked about this when we were on the podcast with Aaron. Someone had taken a piece of JB's skull and hung it up at his bar as a souvenir.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Why do people make fun of dead people in submarines? Just because
Hey.
they're weird.
Right. Jerks. Why would you guys do that?
Everybody's dying, bitch. Sorry, Mom.
There were several suspects on it. The preacher, what was his name, BJ?
I don't remember the preacher's name. I was trying to look that up. They said that may be one of the reasons there was no sign of like a struggle, because if they were awake, because that's the theory. They're like, how did nobody wake up? Like you said, when everybody's getting beat, and they're like, well, maybe it's because they knew him. They had just come from church with him. So he was led inside, and then who knows, had dinner with them, because they're not sure if they were actually murdered in their beds, not 100%.
Right.
Or some of them, like the kids, could have gone to bed and he was downstairs talking to Josiah
Mom and Dad.
and Sarah, and then place them, because they were all positioned, whether it was face up with the covering or like the Stillinger girl and face down. So that's kind of one, but they would have never known, because so many people walk through the crime scene and like drug their bloody footprints and stuff everywhere. So
I like the theory too, because that would explain the shoe. Maybe he drug her up, threw her in the bed, and had to get to work on everybody else,
yeah.
And if
'Cause
you
the
look
la-
at the pictures of the inside of this house, there's not any carpet. So
Right. It's all hardwood. Yeah.
it's all hardwood, and it's all finished hardwood. So
Yeah.
I mean, you could wipe blood up off of the floor, pretty easy. And back in that time, they didn't have black lights and CSI investigations and things
Right.
of that sort. So you're not going to come across, blood splatter and all that kind of stuff. You wash it, you wipe your hands of it, you're done. It's over. You leave. Now,
Yeah.
So that kind of puts me into a theory of, he's a traveling pastor, he's a visiting pastor. So did he spend the night with them? Did they invite him in to spend the night, to stay with them?
A lot of your stories, a lot of your podcasts, and again, there's a couple different things from it. One says that whoever did the killing was in the attic, and they stayed in the attic until nighttime, until everybody went to bed. That's one theory. A lot of your theories, The other again, because like I said, remember nobody locks their house around here. Easy access to get in and up in the attic. Shut the door. If you look over there to the right, there's a barn.
Right here.
A lot of people, a lot of theories also state that they hid in the barn, and there was a peephole that he could watch, or they could watch through. So everybody went in, watched with a light, because you got to think too. This is 1912. They had lanterns, and that's another thing. It talks about the other murders. The person that did this, not only in Vallisca, but you could go and research murders similar to the Axe Murder House, Vallisca Axe Murder House. This person did the same exact thing with the sheets on the mirrors, bludgeon faces, meal cooked, axe cleaned, pail of water, lantern with the wick split in half so it's a dull light, so you wouldn't be emitting too much light. Because if you guys are anything like me, the slightest bit of light makes me get out of bed. It wakes me up. What the heck's that?
Yeah.
So imagine go ahead.
I remembered something. There was also no lights in the town because they were having an argument with the power company. And so the entire town was extremely dark. There was no street lamps or anything on at that time. So they said Vallisca was extra dark that night.
Wow.
So like you said, the lantern would have been definitely noticed.
Right. Yeah, like I said, they split the wig in half, so they made it dimmer. Yeah, like I said, in my house, and especially in my house, if even if I'm in a dead sleep, the slightest bit of light crosses across my face, I'm jumping out of bed. It's just who I am. So,
well, no, I agree.
One of the other things I saw about the lanterns is that he had taken the lids off of all the lanterns.
mhm.
And they were like really far away from the actual, like some of them were found underneath the dresser. So, and they're glass. So I don't know if they would be like kicked. They'd probably shatter. But I thought that little part was interesting too, because I think they did that at everyone too.
Yeah, and another thing about the Vallisca Axe Murder House, and I don't know why and again, I'm not an investigator. Maybe you guys are like, oh, this is why. They made a big deal about it because he spilled over some ink, and that's how they knew he crawled out the window, locked the house, crawled out the window, and left. But he knocked over an ink blot thing. That's
but how did they know it was him? It could have been one of the kids earlier in the day.
It could have happened during the struggle. Like there could have been a struggle, and
see,
I liked Aaron's theory. He bopped them, got the killing strike in, sent them up, or set them up in their beds, and then did it from there.
Yeah, I think so too. So in your research, did you find where there was other spooge-filled bacon or?
Do what? No.
Okay, I was just wondering, since you were investigating that part.
No, I quickly scanned by that.
I don't know. You knew that he had wrapped bacon up in a towel and like.
Okay,
I
so
saw your notes.
I literally said one sentence about it, and it's printed in your mind. You didn't even know.
Listen, hey, it is on the internet forever now.
Anyway, so let's a little bit about the suspects. Then I'd like to talk about the hauntings. Unless BJ, you've got more to talk about the suspects.
No, I have something to talk about. Just one little thing about Vallisca. You go ahead though and talk about it.
So the preacher, the main suspect, was he the same one who got on the train and talked about it?
The preacher was, yes.
Okay. He got on the train, said, did you hear about the murders before it was even discovered? He asked a couple on the train, hey, did you hear about the murders that happened to Vallisca? Explain the murders and all that. They hadn't been discovered yet.
Yeah.
They had not been discovered yet from the time frame they're talking about.
He admitted it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He admitted it in court.
Yeah.
But they threw the case out because they felt like he was being badgered. He's badgering the witness. It's his witness. But no, they thought he was being badgered they were pretty much torturing him to say he admitted to say he did it. And I can see that, but at the same time, put stuff together, folks. I mean, geez, he talked about it before. He came back because he was British. He was. He was a British preacher who came after he had left. He came back pretending to be an inspector from, like, I can't remember what the name of it was. He was pretending to be a British inspector. And a lot of theory of it behind it too was he just obsessed with his work?
Yeah, murderers
This is-
almost always return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah. He was the main suspect. I think he's the one that did it.
Well,
He had a-
the ghost said he did.
yeah, that's right.
right?
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. That's right. Go ahead.
Wasn't there a theory that they didn't think he could do it because he was such a tiny man?
Yeah.
No, that is.
Oh,
But
okay.
the thing is, yeah, they said that he couldn't do it because they didn't think he could swing the axe.
Mhm.
But the story behind this is too, the ceilings in there were so low that he's the only one that could have done it. They were
Ah,
so low because you could see the axe where the axe had been hitting the ceiling, and he was going over the top of his head with it. That a normal height person couldn't do that. They'd have to come in from the side. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. One theory from them, yeah, he was too little to be able to lift up the axe. But at the same time, if he, like I said, they came over the top, and you could see where it was stuck in the ceiling.
but see, that confuses me too, because something that I read is the way that the beds were. It would have Josiah would have been in the bed up against the wall, so the killer would have had to crawl over Sarah to kill Josiah because they think he was killed first. So how is he, unless he hits her once to like technically kill her? If it's done in bed, like some people think, although we think they were killed somewhere else and put there. But I don't, if he was a smaller guy, there's no way he would have been able to reach him, over.
Unless he
her.
stepped up on the bed. Like you said, he delivered the
Here.
initial blows.
Here, check this
Then-
out. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's grody.
That's
That's one in their bedroom.
Mom just made a good point. She says if someone is possessed by a demonic spirit, they would have superhuman strength, which is true.
It's true.
Absolutely
That's
true.
very true.
Yeah.
Which is why Mom needs to just be on the podcast.
Yes.
Right? Come on, Mom.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
But that's not the only room that those markings were. It was in the kids' rooms and too.
Yeah.
And again, it just anybody with a sane mind. And again, too, some believe that this person was paid off by a senator because of, or somebody that owned a store. I've listeners, I'm sorry, I forgot about this part of the research. It was 8 weeks ago, but there was somebody that owned a store or something that JB outperformed or was doing better than, or he saw JB as a threat.
Yeah.
So it was a paid hit. Now, why he would murder the family, or they would murder the family, I don't know. But that's one theory.
He also paid for the investigation, though.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but
if you pay for the
what's more? Yeah, what's more convincing than saying, "Oh, well, let's pay for the investigation"?
Yeah.
Well, this guy didn't do it.
I tell you what. I tell you what.
I tell you what.
Now listen here. Now listen here, boy. I tell you what is.
Watch it fizz, boy. Watch it fizz.
Well, what's more convincing than the actual CEO of a submarine company getting on the submarine with him and it magically disappearing?
This isn't the Unfiltered podcast.
Sorry, I'm just.
While I agree with you,
If you'd like to hear our unfiltered thoughts on the submarine tragedy, join our Patreon.
Join the Patreon.
yeah, I need to build
That's
a
not
submarine.
available yet, by the way.
You need to build a submarine.
I need to build a submarine. $250,000 a person. Yeah, I need to build a submarine.
I tell you, I made a joke. I offended Ashley earlier because we were in the bathroom and we had pulled our mirror.
That's kind of weird.
Well, we had pulled our mirror out of the wall because we're redoing the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hanging a piece of drywall, and it was just like overhung, just like about that much. And she
That's
was
what
like,
she said.
And she was like, I just don't know if that's going to work. And I just looked at her. I said, hey, I said, I'm not building a submarine here. And she goes, oh, that was mean. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Listen,
I'm
some
showing
people,
Britain. Go ahead.
John Denver, fantastic songwriter,
John Denver's
musician,
full of shit, man.
horrible at building airplanes. Some people should not do stuff. Stick with what you're good at. Okay.
Dakota, you got that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this.
Yeah, John Denver's full of shit, man.
Dumb and
Anyway.
Dumber.
Great movie.
Back to horrible murders of Vallisca.
Oh yeah. So there was a third suspect. There was a guy that showed up on a work crew. They were working on a bridge or a pipeline or something. Guy randomly shows up and like talks about it. I guess this guy was like overly obsessed with these murders. Guy he showed up out of nowhere. They didn't know who he was, but he was over there with the workers. And this guy was like overly obsessed. That's all he could talk about. He had newspaper articles, talked about exact details of the murders and things that people are like, really? I didn't know that, But the falling back on that could have been one of the people that were in there during the
traipsing through.
investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are weird and upset. I mean, people listen and make podcasts about obsession of murder. So,
Yep. And it's
People are
funny
obsessed with
because
ghosts.
even now, the town of Vallisca, they say you can go there and people still have theories. Like there are people still trying to. This still like encompasses the people who live there, even though this happened, in 1912. They still have theories because it's unsolved and it's such a big mystery.
that's why I can't wait to go with Aaron.
I know. I can't wait to go either. I think it's going to be awesome. He says we should go kind of in the fall, not in the summer, not in the
Right.
winter, because there's either hot or cold.
Both are miserable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they don't have any AC at the place or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure not. And
They
there's
try to keep it. They try to keep it in the setting,
Yeah.
which is good for the ghosts because
yeah.
the more
I mean-
go ahead.
If you're bringing in a Roomba to get things cleaned up, it's going to freak the ghosts out from 1912.
Yeah.
It's a demon.
True.
Talking about the ghosts there, we could BJ, I'll let you get your Vallisca thing, but a lot of the stories, a lot of your podcasts say, well, we think this place has a demon, and I don't think there's a demon there. I think the demon was in and out.
I agree.
Now,
I think-
is there a
Kind of
dark
like Amityville.
kind of? Is there a dark spirit?
LSD at Amityville.
Is there a dark spirit there that's kind of maybe tormenting the Stillingers? Because I know Aaron talked about he heard what was it? It was either Lynn or Ina. I can't remember. Sorry, Aaron. But one of them said they were there, and then Aaron asked for a hug, and then basically the darker voice gave the girl permission and said it's okay.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think there's
is
a
that
demon there.
Is that her dad going, hey, look,
That's a possible thought too. Yeah, hey, because I mean, think about it. You're a ghost. You're not going to trust it. You got murdered. You're not going to trust anybody.
yeah.
Right.
Wait.
Well, and if you were because some people say maybe it was the ghost of the murderer, like the killer,
Right.
that came back. But why would you go back to the house where you if
He
you're
was
a ghost-
obsessed. I mean, he was obsessed with his murder. If it was the preacher, but again, he didn't die there.
No. So
But
yeah, I don't
maybe
believe
that's
that.
maybe that's something to do with the mirror covering too.
It could be, or the demon theory. But here's the thing about Vallisca that I thought was very interesting was Vallisca, the town of Vallisca, the name they thought when the white settlers came in meant pretty place or a beautiful view. It's a very small town, but Native Americans who would have been there before, Vallisca is from the word Walliska, which means evil spirit.
Yes.
Again, the Native Americans know things that the white people don't know.
Right.
So
But and I don't want to overlook something else Mom just said was, Dakota, you've mentioned this before, but the ghosts know they're dead.
Right.
So
Especially if they were killed in their sleep, they probably don't. They may just be going about their daily life and well, who's this guy walking in here with that thing is in his hand? He's yelling at us.
They think we're the ghosts. Yeah.
His name's
Right.
Zach. Why is he yelling at us?
'Cause he's
Yeah.
a jerk.
Or it's one of those, hey, I just did what he asked me to do. Why
And
is he
he's running
screaming and
around like
running
a
away?
chicken. Yeah. Yeah.
And what are these things called? Flashlights. They keep asking me to turn on and off.
Who's this girl that wants me to? Who's this
What?
mean bitch?
Why is this guy got a tent in here?
Oh, Aaron is 10.
We love you, Aaron.
We do.
Mom says it could possibly be frustrating them too that they can't communicate, which
Yeah.
is absolutely 100%.
And I'm sure they
a
don't want to be a
theory.
sideshow, like people just
Right.
coming in and forcing them to do,
Yeah.
like, do tricks. And that's, this isn't, it's not a vending machine style of spooks.
Right.
It's not, it's a very active house, very, very active, but it's not like I said, a vending machine where you just go in and be like, okay, today, E5, I would like door slamming, please. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what, so I think that's,
All spirits have trends, whether they're evil or good. There's a trend, whether it be something that, again, if it's an intelligent spirit and it knows it can get your attention by opening or shutting the door, guess what? It's going to open and shut the door every time you're there. That's why there's always, they say, well, you always have to claim, you always have to claim, you always have to claim.
Yeah.
It's the same story. And again, residual hauntings, which mom and dad's house has multiple
Both.
types of hauntings. Well, residual, intelligent, evil, whatever. That's you always had the stove clicking. You always had the footsteps.
They're all evil because they're all demons, bro.
oh man.
Mom, get him, mom.
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
So it's
Mama
hard to
agrees with me.
it's hard to wrap your human mind around this sort of thing. But this is a human story. I mean, it's a horrific story, but they were a really young family. So
they were. That's the saddest thing of it. They were
very young, and they were people, and like we as like paranormal people are like, oh man, this is so cool to like find this. But I mean, it was very tragic. It was horrible, a horrible thing, and especially knowing that 6 out of the 8 were very young children, very young. So
That's the
it's-
part that bothers me the most.
yeah, I don't know how you could to do that. You would have to either be under some sort of influence of something, drugs, demon, or some sort of mental thing. And to do it in more than one location, I think is even worse. But
look
let's
at this.
oh, you're done. Hi, Callie.
She won't stop staring at me.
When did you get a cat, Dakota?
That's a rat.
Oh, yeah, that is a rat.
All right. Talking about the hauntings. Unless you guys got more to talk about the other stuff, that's fine.
Nope.
There's a lot of different things. Why it's so popular. One, obviously because of the case itself. Two, a lot of stuff. Again, these are notes from May 1st. There are disembodied laughter and a children's voices that play over and over like a record. It says repeating the last night. Okay, so it acts like, and then again, this goes into the shock factor for the ghosts. There's times where it seems like there's nights where it's like the last night they lived there. Laughter, not like you hear life happening, but not really happening. Kids laughing, playing, laughter, voices, just, and that's the residual side of it. The shock factor. Whether you were asleep or not, you're still going to be shocked as a spirit. Like, what the heck's going on here? There are unexplained screams, movements of stuff. Even a strange fog has been reported. We know about the fogs.
Yep.
There's sometimes visitors can display unusual behavior. There was a paranormal investigator that actually one of the most, if not the most popular ghost story there, stabbed himself in the back. He was in the parlor where the Stillinger girls were killed, which I think is the most active room in the house, where a paranormal investigator went in there. He was trying to talk to Lena and Ina, or the dark spirit that's claimed to be there. And the next thing you know, he's waking up. He's waking up on the floor, or no, I'm sorry, he was waking up in the hospital because he had stabbed himself with a knife that they don't even know where it came from. And he stabbed himself in the back, and he was actually in the ICU for a while. He claims he blacked out. Could have been an attention grab. Maybe. Could he have really done it not knowing what was going on?
Not
Maybe.
knowing what he did. They continue singing.
Hey.
That's not a real song.
That's his name. Hey.
That is my name.
Hey, what just went beside you?
Huh?
Up your TV? Something went above your head up on the TV. Is there anybody else in there with you? Mark?
Train fly right there.
No, something went up from like the middle of the TV up. I caught it a glimpse of my eye. Just make sure you mark that. It could have been a dust particle, but anyway. Paranormal
Because your house is dirty.
It is.
Listen, come check out my night vision camera from my fridge. There are paranormal investigators that have caught out the Stillinger girls to turn on a flashlight, and they do. I do think that the most active spirits in there are unfortunately the Stillinger girls.
Yeah.
People do come in there and they get disoriented, they get angry, they get sad. They'll randomly start crying. I think that's the overwhelming emotions of the spirits that were killed there. Because if you think about it, if you ghost, you're going to have all of those emotions.
Yeah.
You're going to be sad. You're going to be disoriented because you don't know what's going on. You're going to be mad. Museum guests also say they hear footsteps in empty rooms. They see objects move around unassisted. Again, I think that's just the younger kids being younger kids in whatever lifetime they're in. Here's a strange one though that I read from a claim was that the people hear voices like I don't know if Cody, I don't know if you've ever seen Harry Potter or not, but they sound like the parcel tongue, which is the language of snakes in Harry Potter, or they're just.
You mean like the things we hear in the basement at mom and dad's house?
Yes. They hear a lot. There are people that say they hear those voices. There are kids' toys that move a lot. What another good story was the caretaker was there by himself in there, went upstairs to check a couple things, and they heard footsteps coming up the stairs. And they weren't like, I think those are footsteps. It was like somebody's in this house and they're coming up the stairs because they were heavy footsteps. The caretaker went in the closet because they were going to jump out and scare whoever it was. When the footsteps, they got up the stairs and tromped into the room that he was in, he jumped out of the closet only for nobody to be there. We know that feeling. Crap, dad's coming upstairs, and then all of a sudden get to the top of the stairs.
11 freaking o'clock.
Yeah. Nobody's there.
There was a ghost there. It was in its underwear.
And they were tight and white. Again, there's a couple kids saying the names on EVPs. The neighbor to the Vallisca Axe Murder house always has sometimes gets thoughts of evil or anger or just random thoughts of just not good things. But come on, this is America. We all have those.
Yep.
So,
I medicated mine out.
Not anymore for you, I know.
I medicated mine out, buddy.
Yeah. So that's all I've got on the ghost stories. Again, go ahead.
Okay, so I hate to harp on this, and I hate to always sort of feel like I'm going back to this, but
It's always good to be a skeptic.
I know. And so back in 1912, actually, let's see here, from 1870 to the early 1900s, which would have been, I guess, 1912. Do you know what was really popular amongst people?
Ghosts.
Opiates.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
And do
they were
you know?
party people.
Yeah, and opiates were they one of the side effects of an opiate is what? Do we know?
Hallucinations.
False sensory perceptions, delirium, and sudden confusion, disorientation, and hallucinations.
Mhm.
So now,
In other words, a really good time.
well, exactly. However, that's like what acid, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
You're-
go. I know. I know. I know.
Don't do it.
I can't help it though. I have to look into my mind always goes there first, like
Yeah.
honestly, why else would somebody walk in other than the fact that you just really wanted to do it? And, back in those days, there was an excuse of, well, demons, right? Because okay, let's back up just a little bit here. When were the Salem witch trials? Let me look that up.
Also, wasn't
Late-
it 1912 when the Titanic sank?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the Salem witch
Vallisca Gate.
trials. Okay, so the Salem witch trials back in the 1600s. So
Yeah, as I say, I
Yeah,
thought
like
it
a
was way,
long
way,
time.
way.
but and this is way before satanic panic anyway. But back in those days, right, it was easier to be like, oh, he's a demon or he's a ghost or, you know,
You
it's
got demons. You should do cocaine about it.
exactly. So, I mean, what I'm saying is, and there's not, there, the guy got away, right? And so there's no way that you can't, and even then, you can't piss test a guy, you can't drug test a guy. So there's no way to really know, but my mind immediately has to go to why would somebody do this other than the fact that they just wanted to do it. And then they could blame it on the Catholic Church, or you could blame it on the demons, or you could blame it on whatever. Or was the guy hallucinating? Did he, there was a strong opiate addiction. It was like 1 out of every 200 Americans was addicted was addicted to opiates back in the day. So is this guy addicted to opiates? And is that why he's a traveling pastor from church to church? And do other churches find out that he's addicted to opiates, and so they kick him out, they get rid of him? Okay, you can go to this next town, 3 or 4 towns over. There's no internet, so word's not going to travel that fast, right? So you I
And that
go to the mindset of the man was on drugs, and he was invited to their home. He did some drugs before he went, and he was at their house eating dinner and thought he saw demons. That's I don't know. Maybe it's just easy for me to explain it away to myself that way.
Sure.
Kind of like, yeah.
My only, to play devil's advocate a little bit,
No, that's what
is
we're here for.
right is everybody knows that the town drunk is gonna probably piss outside somewhere.
right.
But opiates, when you're having those hallucinations, they are not the same every single time. So the fact that this murder was done in the exact same way in several different locations,
Yeah.
kind of plays to the fact that it was somebody who either really wanted to do it because they were evil in their heart,
Yeah.
and they had a method about it,
Mm-hmm.
or, but if it was just somebody who had an opiate issue, they would probably kill people, but it wouldn't be the exact same way every single time.
True.
If that makes
thing
any
too,
sense.
you got to
Yeah.
think how meticulous things were. Like even going back down to the lantern where he sliced the wick in half,
Yeah. And the bacon.
and the
Yeah, but
freaking
let's
bacon.
let's go back to this though. That's all speculation. Nobody knows that any of that shit really even happened.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, nobody. Okay, we talked about it earlier. Where they think he hid in the barn. That was a theory that he hid in the
Right,
barn.
right,
Right.
yeah.
There's a theory that he cut the wicks in half to make it to dim the light and that kind of stuff. So,
But they did actually do an investigation a little bit later.
Right.
okay,
There was an actual investigation done.
Each
Okay.
and each of these axe murders that happened throughout, and it was all close. And the thing is, too, they happens in whatever you call that.
in order in
Succession.
succession. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the word I was looking for. And it was in a straight line
Okay.
across the country.
All along
And
the
it was
train
all the
tracks.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
all along the train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And
theory.
again, and maybe I mean, again, we're not sitting here saying, "Oh, you're stupid." Well,
Hey,
No, because it's a very
Listen,
valid point. It could have
it's
happened.
a good point.
But I'm not here. I'm not going to hear it. I'm not here to tell you that you guys are wrong and that I'm right or I'm right. You're wrong. Whatever. I'm not. That's not what I'm. That's not why I brought that up.
Oh yeah,
The reason I brought that up is because that's immediately where my mind goes, and
Sure.
and I completely understand when you put it into that context. I can see that.
Yeah.
But I'm it's not to say that that's like I believe
Mhm.
when we go back to Amityville that the LSD is what allowed him to be possessed
Yeah.
because it expanded his
opened
mind,
his mind. Yep.
and that's it, that's what the demons look for.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that it couldn't be even a combination of a lot of things. You know what I mean? And I've
Yeah.
never done opioids, so I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
what
Me either. So,
if you're on the same wavelength every time.
me
I
either.
was
I had to
was
actually
prescribed
look it
when I
up.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had to look up the I actually had to look up like an article from the Smithsonian about the different types of hallucinations and the it was a crisis back in back in those days. So
But I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, they really were putting cocaine in their coke. They really
Yep.
were. I mean, they were using stuff
you,
that we
Mom.
would never think.
love you, Mama.
Oh, bye, Mom. Love you. So they were already doing things. So if you add, there's the addiction on top of that, it's even worse. So it's kind of, my thought was like, was it like a random murder, or did something evil cause a normal human to do something out of character? Is kind of the theory that we keep going back and forth.
Right.
And I mean, nobody has any answers up until this day, which is one of the reasons it's so fascinating for the crime world and the paranormal world, because
Right.
it ties those two together, because there's so many unanswered questions.
Yep.
Well,
I
before
love
we
it.
stop talking about it, I own a piece of the Vallisca murder house.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you
you
lucky
do.
dog.
I do. When Aaron he sells glow rings, go to aarongthompson.com/glow rings if you want to order one. But if for our people who are going to see us on
He made
YouTube,
mine tonight. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it.
I know. I watched the video. It looked really cool. But
Yeah.
mine, let me see if I can put it. There is a piece of the Vallisca murder house
That's so
Right.
cool, dude.
right there. It's a piece of haunted debris from Vallisca right there.
Is it radioactive?
Radioactive. Radioactive.
Like-
I bet.
like-
So it's got rose quartz in it as well for protection. But they used to put rose quartz on the top of antennas when they needed to boost the signal, because it actually has its own EMF in it.
yeah. Yep.
So did you know that?
I did.
No.
Yeah. So there's a slight, I'm not going to call it a vibration, but I definitely I can feel when I'm not wearing. Yeah.
That's why
I'm not-
put it on my finger.
But it's just I don't know. Anyway, it's really cool. But yeah, I own a piece of the most haunted location.
That's crazy. That's
Awesome.
awesome. I love it.
I know. I'm like, and it glows in the dark, so it's really cool.
Mine has dinosaur bone and pie.
Yours has dinosaur bones.
Excited.
And Dakota's missus, hers has the ashes of her mama, which is really super cool.
Which is
too.
awesome.
Yes.
So we all, and our mama has a ring too, and it has meteorite in it.
That's awesome.
I mean, he just does it. He makes every experience so personal, and he really, really tries to.
Yeah, he FaceTimes you. That's the
Yes.
coolest thing of it. He physically wants to talk to you, and again, when he did Brittany's, when he, and it was really cool too, because like the first thing he said is Brittany wanted purple for her mom. That was her mom's favorite color. And then he's like, I see the color yellow. And again, it's maybe it has something to do with it, maybe it don't, but we always teased her mom because her mom went to Southern, which Southern school colors are purple and
Purple
yellow.
and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh no, I fully believe that what he does is 100% real. Because I mean, he and I talked for about 45 minutes before he even started doing that with me.
Yeah.
And basically, the thing that I just had a lot of questions for him, and I asked a lot of questions. And when we interviewed him, I asked a lot of questions. And I've got a lot of questions about certain things in life, and there's a lot of things that I do not understand.
Yeah.
And so when he reached into the bag and pulled out the question mark, I was floored.
Yeah.
And so
My-
was he.
Exactly, he was.
Yeah.
And my jaw hit the floor. And then he's like, "Hey man," he says, "You know what? Hang on, I got something really cool that I think I need to put in yours." He said, I feel the need to put this in yours." Okay. He's like, "Well, how about dinosaur bone?" I'm like, dude, I was super into dinosaurs as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah.
so I mean,
you had bed sheets of dinosaurs,
Yeah.
and pillowcases and blankets.
and toys. I still have them, and
Still
so,
play with them.
Yeah, I do. I play with one dinosaur.
Don't call Ashley that.
Oh no, I have. Don't get me in trouble with Mrs. S.
I'm just kidding.
Oh man, the rain sounds so amazing.
Doesn't it? It
I'm
sounds
sa-
really, it's so peaceful.
We have our water feature out back. We've been working on it, and I put these solar lights on the water feature that run down the water feature, so you can see the water from the rain running down, and you can see, and like it's shining up on the lilies and stuff, and
It's awesome.
Very cool.
so. I'm sorry, I hate to my zen.
Digress.
No,
Zen
it's
garden.
so what are we talking about next?
You had something you wanted to talk about. Oh, I want to talk about the Titanic stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm-
not tonight. Like, what's our next subject you want to talk?
Well, did
Uh,
you want to cover the Flatwoods Monster?
I was gonna say for our YouTube people,
Yes,
I went to Sutton, West Virginia, and
it's
to the-
actually Sutan.
no, it's
Fuck you guys. Come back. Yeah, that's badass.
That's awesome.
that is the Flatwoods Monster.
Golly, she's so creepy, dude.
Isn't she, though?
Golly.
So in Sutton, West Virginia, and a lot of people may not know about that, but I think it'd be something really cool to kind of feature. And I
Oh,
took
yes.
some pictures and stuff when I was there, and it was a really cool experience. So
Did you do any seances in the museum?
no, because
Absolutely not.
the sign said absolutely no seances, and I wanted to like go over there and like sit and take a picture like I was acting like I was gonna, but they were watching you.
Wow.
Yeah, they were, and I'm not sure why, other than it was a really, really old building. So maybe they're like, we already have one monster. We don't need to like wake
Yeah.
up anything else.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like really cool. So yeah, if you guys want to talk about Flatwoods Monster, that would be really cool. And then
I want to talk about.
I watched I'm watching this new show. It's not new. It's new to me on HBO Max called Ghost Brothers.
Mhm.
The Ghost Brothers, and they have been doing some investigations in some places, and I think it's called the Roth Mansion. I think there's something called the Roth Mansion. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but it was really cool, and I thought it'd be something we'd like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that they go on there and they're all black, and so
because that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
no, it's
We
important.
needed to know that one.
It's important because I tell you this: a lot of the places that they go, like if it's like an old plantation,
plantation.
the ghost will say cute slave, and like they'll say something about it, and they're like, man, they're like, you got to deal with that shit in the afterlife too. And I'm like, no,
Really?
no, no. I mean, they saw him. They're like, that's a really cute slave. So yeah, I thought that was funny. Anyway,
Can I tell you
Yikes.
guys? Can I tell you guys my ghost story?
No,
Okay.
I guess.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Nope. See you guys later. I'm out.
Good night. Love you.
Please tell us the ghost story.
Oh, okay. That's what I was waiting for. I mean, gosh, for our paranormal podcast here.
We
No,
got
so, I mean, it's not about a submarine or anything, but
I
Hey.
rescued a meth head from dying.
oh yeah, you did. That was awesome.
Did you know that Sutton Lake is like 300 feet deep? And it's deepest.
It's really clear too.
Is it?
Very clear. Yeah, like you can see 10 feet down, like easy. Like it's beautiful, beautiful area. But it's not about
Too bad-
ghosts. So.
Too bad you had to float on the dock.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
All right. So yeah, this morning, okay, I was going into the man cave to get my boots. And if you are ever in my house, the man cave is off of my kitchen. And then if you go across the kitchen and through a little hallway area, you've got my bedroom. I always have to shut the bedroom door because our dog Callie is when you let her out of the cage at night to go out and use the bathroom in the morning, she's like shot out of a cannon. She's got to draw around, do her zoomies, get her zoomies over with. Well, a lot of times, oh, hey, kitty. A lot of times she likes to go in there and jump all over Brittany. So I shut the bedroom door. Don't even let her in. I shut it to where it, it locks, latches shut like any other normal door. This morning I shut it. I went to the man cave to get my boots. And mind you, Brittany and I had been hearing at her mom and dad's house and at her house, it sounds like door handles jiggling. This morning I heard our bedroom door, the handle jiggling. Well, then the door opened. Something had turned the handle and opened the door. And then it started opening. It opened about a quarter of the way and then it stopped. So I said, open it some more. And it creaked open a little bit more. I said, open it some more. And it opened it a little bit more. I did that until it opened about halfway and then it stopped. Then I told it to shut it. Nothing shut it. But yeah, that was my story this morning. Something had physically turned my door handle and pushed my door open.
But that's also the same room where you saw the half, like the legs and stuff, right?
It's the same room I saw the legs and I saw Sandy's apparition of Sandy standing right beside me.
Yeah, so that's a pretty active room in your house.
Yes, my bedroom. Well, certain
It's
ways it's
active
active.
ghosts like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing going ooh in my house.
Pity. That's a pity.
Well, next time hang a sock on the door and it won't do that.
That's
what-
right.
Yeah. So that's my story.
That's a pretty cool story, though.
I like that, dude.
I
Awesome,
do too.
awesome. Oh, I'm just shaking. Yeah, nothing's really going on here. I mean, and it's which would be a surprise because we're doing so much tearing out walls and building stuff and all that kind of stuff. But everything's been pretty quiet here on the home front.
Good.
Good knock on wood there.
Yeah, no, whatever. Come on in.
Right.
Well,
Speaking of which, we've reached out to the mayor of the town that I live in. We actually have an opportunity to try and do a little bit of investigating there. And BJ's boss actually said we can investigate a building up by the old hospital that got torn down, which was super haunted, by the way.
Super haunted.
Super
yeah.
haunted.
Yeah. And
So
yeah, she doesn't, it's not that she doesn't believe in ghosts. She just says that she doesn't connect that way. So she says they don't really bother me. She said everybody's always been very friendly to me if they're even there. But she hears things every time she goes up there to get files and things like that. And I've been up there a couple of times, and it's creepy during the day, so I'm really excited to go at night.
yes.
I'm not telling anybody that we're going there. I'll tell her, but I'm not telling anyone else because there's a couple people who have keys who will go and hide and wait for us in the dark there. And I don't want to have to like go to jail because I've murdered someone for scaring us. So
Yeah.
but I think it'll be really interesting to do a couple of little investigations and I have messages out to a couple of Paracon, I guess that's what they're called, like paranormal events, about us possibly having a booth there or doing an investigation and speaking. And one of them that I plan to reach out to is out where Aaron is right now at the Haunted YMCA in Illinois. They're having a big event in October, and I think that'll be a really good opportunity for us to go there because he said,
As I was trying to look up. Go ahead.
yeah, he may be able to get us in there to do an investigation. So that'd be pretty cool.
That would
And
be-
it'd just be nice to see him again. So I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow. Now that we have a picture, we have a Small
Woohoo!
Town Paranormal picture of
Yay.
our beautiful faces.
Well, they can see our beautiful faces on
They
our
can now.
YouTube channel if you go to Small Town
YouTube.
Paranormal Ohio on YouTube.
Awesome.
So, well,
Hey,
that's
watch
all.
watch the ads, people. Watch the ads.
Oh yeah, you can. Well, yeah. Well, we'll get sponsored eventually. I just gotta there's some companies I gotta reach out to. There were some I used to be affiliated with Podcorn, and
Yeah.
they would give you opportunities to speak to other podcasts and do collaborations, and then also companies reach out to podcasters on this. But I don't think that our hosting site, I don't think that they are going to be affiliated with Podcorn anymore. So there may be something else I need to do to
Okay.
that may be what you saw. That was a cat hair.
Maybe.
So, well, awesome. This is great. I've had a lot of fun. I
Me
appreciate,
too.
this is always fun. We always have so much fun hanging out and doing our podcast thing. I
Yeah.
absolutely love hanging out with you guys.
I know I miss you guys, and
Miss
I
you
just
too.
I just enjoy hanging out and talking. And this is
Me
like a
too.
sibling date, so I
Yeah.
really enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Tattoos next time.
Yes. I got these two. We need to get two. I need to get a bunch more. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready.
Well, if you want to see our smiling faces, don't forget to go check us out on YouTube, Small Town Paranormal Ohio. Go subscribe over there, like it, share it. I don't know what the call to action is on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm sure we'll get better at it.
I'm sure we'll see.
And if you're interested in a unfiltered, unedited, not really raunchy, I guess, but if you're interested, in some of the extra stuff that we like to, you know what? Maybe we ought to do like a vlog thing. Tell us what you want.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want. Get on. Find us on Facebook, Small Town Paranormal on Facebook. Email us at smalltownparanormalohio@gmail.com. Tell us what you want from us as
Yeah.
far as, what stories you want us to cover. Do you have a story to tell us? Do you have a story that you want us to read? Let us know. Let us know if you were to sign up for a Patreon, if we were to do Patreon, what is some of the extra content that you want from us? And we will hopefully get some things put together.
Yeah, we already have one in the chamber and ready to go
Yes.
about the Ocean Gate thing that
Yes.
we talked. We went on about that for a little while. So, but that's a little bit extra, and some people may not appreciate our opinions on things, and that's the reason that we're like, maybe we should make that a little bit not for everyone. So
Maybe, yeah, maybe we should make people pay. and also, if you want to hear some of our warm up conversation, we'll go ahead and throw that on there too. But like I said, let us know what else you want.
we're a lot of fun. Just ask us.
Yeah, we're a lot of fun. Well, we appreciate everybody listening on the podcast side of things. Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon. We're everywhere.
Yep.
And Podbean, I think it was a new one that I'm trying to get us on.
Nice.
So we appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate the family that listens. Thank you so much, Terry, Lindsay. We love you guys. We don't forget.
We don't never, and we love sending lots of love to Asher and lots of love to Terry. So
Yes. Absolutely. So,
all right. Well, I guess if that's it, we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
How do I stop the recording? I've done this.
I don't know. You're the one who does it.
I know. Stop recording.